outburst made it impossible to hear our colleagues at the front desk, and I'm prepared to exercise my full authority as chair up to and including calling for a brief recess, requesting that the officers clear the room for the duration of the meeting so that we can return to conducting the town's business. Please consider this your only warning. As I'm sure many of you know, there was an incident that took place at a local bar involving 2 members of the Board of Selectmen and a town employee. While 3 members of this board were not present for the incident, it has fallen on all of us to decide what steps to take to move the town towards a resolution. It's also worth noting that while 3 members of this board had no part in the incident, in fact, all 5 members voted on measures this past fall intended to avoid this exact situation. The actions of 2 board members have now called our judgment and leadership into question by some, including those selectmen directly involved. This incident came to our attention on Friday, January 10th, and the earliest that the full board could convene to discuss the matter was on Thursday, January 16th. Although it was my intention as chair to hold an executive session on Thursday, January 16th to discuss the specifics of the incident and allow the board to vote on what next steps to take, one of the individuals directly involved in the incident made it clear that they would invoke their right to hold the executive session meeting in public, as is their right. However, while the individual requesting for open session cannot claim legal harm by public discussion, the other parties involved could make a claim that their rights were violated. At that point, it was important to get the process started and engage in an impartial third-party investigation of the claims made by the individuals directly involved. And thus, we had a meeting on Thursday, January 16th, for the purpose of voting on whether or not to hire a mediator and/or an impartial third-party investigator. The board voted in support of both of those actions. Again, tonight, we tried to post an executive session meeting to allow the board to discuss the details of the matter, and again, one party invoked their right to hold the session in public. It was under explicit advice from Labor Council that I canceled the executive session portion of the meeting. It is disingenuous for anyone, including members of this board, to suggest that I or any member of the board have tried to cover up this matter. It was clearly posted on Thursday's agenda that the board would vote on hiring an independent investigator. I sought to offer the board alternatives to consider, such as mediation, but all alternatives were rejected. And we are moving forward with the independent investigation. I am sharing this because I don't want there to be any confusion as to how this board is handling the matter. We are acting expeditiously, and we are taking this extremely seriously. As chair of Kingston's Board of Selectmen, I'm hearing from all sides. So Kingston's only hearing from one. You're hearing from one side on Facebook, you're hearing from one side on the radio, you're hearing from one side in the newspaper, and you're seeing one side holding signs throughout town asking for this board to throw due process out the window and caution to the wind. This incident is as unfortunate as it was avoidable, and as chair of this board, I will continue to do what is right for Kingston and ensure that all parties' concerns, complaints, and rights are considered and respected as we work tirelessly towards a resolution. Many of you voted for me because you trusted that I would take the high road and I would keep Kingston's best interests at the forefront during challenging issues like this. It is my promise to all of you that I will continue to do that, but I can't do this by myself. I accept that every now and then someone sitting in this seat has to walk out of here with a black eye and a few bruises so that the town doesn't have to incur those wounds. This past week and still today, I acknowledge that as my current goal. There's only so many punches I can take. Again, this whole issue stemmed from a discussion at a bar involving 2 other members of the board, yet I am the one facing the bulk of the criticism. I can't carry this weight alone, and I know the good people of Kingston are willing to help shoulder that weight as we move forward. I know this because they've been calling me, my wife, and my vice chair, offering words of support during all hours of the day. So I'm asking all of you to do this. Whenever you watch these meetings, and there's many more of you watching at home than are in this room tonight, and you find yourself agreeing with the actions of this board, don't call me, don't call my wife, and don't call my vice chair to let us know that you agree. Tell your neighbors. I wasn't elected to sit up here and tear apart my fellow board members or react when baited. I will give this town as much of my time as it requires, and I'm disheartened that it's being spent this way. We have a lot of irons in the fire, we have grants that need to be written, we have developers who are chomping at the bit for permits and guidance, and as long as I am sitting here, the board will continue to put Kingston first rather than engage with those who seek to tear it apart. Now, given the current climate and how pervasive this matter has become, I'm exercising my right as chair to suspend open forum until this is resolved. Any residents who wish to make an announcement in open forum may submit their announcement to me in writing prior to the meeting, and it will be up to my discretion as chair whether or not those announcements are read.
Will you answer my email?
And with that, we will move directly into our posted agenda, omitting the open forum portion.